Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. Gotta be thankful for being alive again. Ooh, yes, we gotta be thankful, especially these days and time. Let's check the weather and see what the weather is today here in Charlotte. Alexa, what's the weather today here in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit with partly sunny skies. Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather, with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 45 degrees.
Well, guys, today I start my physical therapy. The doctor, he I already told them before I came in. I was telling y'all yesterday when I went to the doctor. They told me I had scoliosis and a tear in my knee. And they told me what I needed to do to get it fixed. However, I always say no to certain medicines. It's crazy that I have to take the allergy medication because I can't find nothing to totally take it away. However, I'm going to be doing physical therapy as long as it takes to try to get my body where it needs to be and eating healthy and try to stay away from the narcotics to keep me pain free. I've been big on that since. I'm going to tell y'all a story, and I laugh about, some of the guys, the rappers, they put in their songs, how I was on perks, how I was on codeine and different things like that. And back in the day, they had gave me some Loratabs, right? I had got my teeth pulled, and I was in a lot of pain, but I was in pain because I was having allergy issues and didn't know it. And I think I told you about this story before. And I messed up, but that was God's way, of helping me without me even knowing. I had sent somebody to the store to get me some sinus pills, and they got me allergy pills, and I took it. But then when I look at the pack, it was like, this is the wrong thing. And, I was going off like, you didn't buy the right thing. But I started feeling better. So the whole time, I probably didn't even need the tooth pulled. However, the pain was so terrible that I just was taking these pills. They gave me these Loratabs. And I was high as a kite. I slid down the wall. I was like on dope, messed up. The doctor gave me this stuff. Right? So I was legally messed up, Then y'all know I have respiratory issues due to my sinuses, and I get bronchitis a lot. I've been like that since a little girl, since I was like 13, 14 years old. And they was always prescribing me codeine, that purple stuff, the liquid. Take a teaspoon of this, And I used to be messed up. I'd be high as a kite, And I listen to, this is why I like the baby, and I forget his name. Oh my gosh. The baby got the song with the guy. Oh, what's the name of the song? Y'all know I'm getting old. But anyway, he talks about he's swerving in traffic because he on the codeine. I understand him perfectly because I've been there. They give me this codeine, you start coughing. You can't stop coughing. You start hacking. You start heaving. Like your body wants to throw up, but it doesn't. You just gagging pretty much. And the codeine always stopped that thing, and it works. It works. But you be high as a kite, And then they tell you, well, don't take too much, But then you find yourself heaving and coughing again. So here you go, taking another teaspoon. So now you're saying to yourself, well, maybe if I take it before I start heaving and coughing, then I won't heave and cough. And you're taking it again. Now your ass is addicted. I wasn't supposed to say that. Now you're addicted. Okay, doctors, why y'all do this to us? There's ways to get through this thing. It really is. Like I woke up, the heat really bothers me, when I'm sleeping. And I wake up with the stuffy nose. And that's what gets me to coughing when I sit up because it starts to drain. So I'm coughing. Then it makes me, start gagging. And I was saying to myself, I saw a picture. I couldn't blow my nose for a long time. I would blow my nose and it would be like nothing would come out. I would just hurt my sinus cavity, okay, because nothing would come out. However, I saw this picture of this family all blowing their nose. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it today. So I was going through the coughing thing. And now if I go to the doctor and I tell the doctor I'm going through this thing, right, they're going to prescribe me some cough medicine. Okay. Now, back in the day, I don't know if they changed things, but back in the day, they always wanted to have you with some codeine. So I stopped getting the stuff. I don't want it. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try the new method because they showed me to blow my nose up, but I couldn't blow my nose back in the day. So it's like, okay, is it going to hurt or is something going to come out? Well, I blew my nose and some stuff came out. So I was thankful. I was like, yeah, it worked. So now my nasal cavity is clear. You know, it's not totally clear, but it's clear enough for me to breathe through and not cough. Okay. So I'm thankful. You know, people don't know that coughing is actually a good thing, you know, because if you have any bacteria in your lungs, you cough it up and get it out, you know, and then they could tell if you have an infection, if it's yellow or, you know, if it's clear. You know, mine's normally come clear. When I see yellow, that's when I know I have to hit the emergency room or the urgent care to get me some type of antibiotics. Other than that, for the most part, it's clear. But anyway, yeah, so these doctors give us these medicines. So when I went to the doctor the other day about my, you know, back hurting and my leg hurting, my side, you know, my right side hurting me, you know, they didn't even offer me because I told them from the beginning, I said, listen here, I'm into the health thing, you know, because they don't know the experiences that I had in the past when they tried to make me drug addicts, you know, and, you know, it's funny because, you know, they looking at you like, okay, what you here for? Do you want pills? You know, and it's like, no, because y'all trying to kill me, you know, and y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand that y'all not God. And y'all can heal me to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Now, I get the thing with the surgery and everything, you know, and sometimes it really helps people. But I'm just not with that thing, you know? They putting all this stuff, this foreign stuff in your body that your body can't get adjusted to, you know? So, but the reason why I'm talking about this today is because a lot of people get addicted to drugs that the doctors give them, you know? And we talk about these illegal drugs on the streets, you know, or people putting stuff in your drinks and people lacing your blunts and, you know, doing all kind of stuff because that's big as well. People do a lot of that too, you know. Matter of fact, I think somebody did that to me in the past, and that made me decide that I wanted to stop smoking and stop drinking because I couldn't trust it no more. But anyway, long story short, you know, my theory with these doctors is like, yo, no, stop giving us all this stuff, you know, because you're turning us into dependence of drugs. You know, so I'm going to try to fight this thing. I have my first therapy appointment today, y'all. I'm going to continue to eat healthy. You know, I got all kind of stuff, you know, that I take. I take my vinegar and turmeric daily. I put turmeric on my food to keep down the inflammation. The same thing the pills would do, you know. So this is the things that I would do. So I'm trying my best to find more and more ways to help myself get through these things that I'm going through, you know, and I'm going through a couple of issues, you know, I'm just starting menopause, you know, I'm in pain on my right side, you know, and my back, you know, what else I'm going through? Sometimes I have my anxiety, you know, a little bit, you know, and sometimes I go through depression, you know, but I'm not dealing with nobody's pills. I'm not doing it. I'm just not, you know, so I have to do this God's way, y'all, you know, and y'all should try to, you know, do it that way as well. You know, when my mother passed away, I went to her house. You know, it was hard for me to go there. You know, y'all can understand. You know, with a person parent, you know, passes away. You know, it's like it's just hard to be in the house that the parent lived in. You know, it's really hard. You know, you don't sleep, you can't eat, you know, you just be a mess, you know. However, I had to go, you know, I had to face my fears and go there. And for those that don't know, you know, I was helping my mother for a very long time, prior to her passing, and I had wanted to go take care of her. I was going to take a leave of absence from Frito-Lay and go take care of her. But, she cursed me out like she normally do. Oh, you stupid. How you going to pay my rent? How you going to do this? How you going to do that? And I'm like, well, you're right, Ma. But, I would rather be there with you, and she chose to me to stay in Maryland and make money so I can continue to pay, her bills and so she can have some place to live. I wanted to take her up out of there because I couldn't afford to really continue to pay her bills like that, pay my bills and her bills. It was really hard, people. Y'all don't know. And I had to go to counseling behind that thing. People don't understand. Stuff can get very stressful. I had to sit down and go to the counselors. Shout out to the counselors in Maryland. They had to put me on the couch and let me express myself because I was going, through the deep end. I was like bugging, like trying to pay two houses of bills, car note, take care of all these kids and these people. I'm about crazy here. But, God got me through it, with the grace of God, But, I mean, if I had to do it again, I will do it again, especially for my mother, But the thing that I'm getting to is, when I went to her house after she passed away, I saw all these pills, y'all. I mean, bags and bags and bags full of pills. And it just like kind of pissed me off, when I saw these pills. And I'm like, I see what my mama did. I mean, so many pills. It was unreal. It was like, you know how you get one of them, say Walmart or supermarket bags? That thing was filled. And, I had tied it in a knot. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. My mother was taking all of this. No wonder she did. She was one that always listened to the doctors. She was just one of those. I didn't understand it. She was big on, well, the doctor said, I don't give a what the doctor said. Do it this way. But then she said, well, you're right. Only thing she wouldn't take, she'd take anything they give her except for crazy drugs. She wouldn't take no crazy drugs. Her thing for the mental was the St. John's warts. That was her thing for the mental. She liked that thing. She used to always tell me, Jackie, you need to calm down. You need to take you some St. John's warts. I'm like, Mommy, what is that? I'm not taking that. I got chamomile. So, we would go battle back and forth about what we need to be taking. But like I said, she was big on whatever the doctor said to believe him, but that's the way she was trained, coming up, in her era. So I can't knock her for what she was trained, to believe what the doctors say, like they God. The doctor the doctor I saw the other day, he had to actually prove to me. It was funny because he was telling me what he thought I had, right? And I'm looking at him like, well, okay, if you think I had this, are you going to take any x-rays? And he was like, oh yeah. Because now you need to prove this thing to me, okay? So, we built our little relationship. So he went, ordered me some x-rays. They took my x-rays and he came back and he said, see, what I was trying to tell you, this is what I was trying to tell you. And I was like, okay, well, I see that you're all right. You know what you're talking about. Okay. Now I can trust you a little bit. A little bit. Not a whole lot, a little bit. Don't be writing me no scripts. Okay. Then that's when he showed me about my back as well. And showed me why it's, hurting me, and especially in my buttocks area, when I stand straight, it a long time, it hurts really bad. So yeah, he gained some trust from me, okay? Because he proved what he was saying was correct, I'll tell you this story. I went when I got pregnant with Egypt, okay? I was at first I went to Hospital Memorial, my favorite hospital, because those are the ones they saved my life, but they didn't save my life until after the fact. So, but I still liked them because my son had got sick. They took care of him. The doctor, when I first got to Maryland, was starting to hurt, on my right side. The doctor told me what my alternatives was other than surgery, and he told me to lose my weight and eat healthy. excuse me, different things like that. So, I kind of trusted them over there because I was losing the weight and doing all the things I needed to do, and it was working. So I kind of trusted them. So I went over to Harvard Memorial. So they said, well, we're going to send you down to Upper Chesapeake because we don't know what's wrong with you. I was in so much pain, y'all. I was in, so much pain. But see, this is what I did. And so I had forgot about it. I had made me some black-eyed peas and fried chicken. I was craving black-eyed peas. So I said, I'm going to make me some black-eyed peas. And normally, I only make black-eyed peas normally on New Year's. That's the only time I make black-eyed peas. I love black-eyed peas, but I just don't make them but once a year. This particular time, I was craving it. And I said, I need me some black-eyed peas. So I went to the store, got me some black-eyed peas. I made me some black-eyed peas. So I want some black-eyed peas, some fried chicken and potato salad. I don't know what was going on with me. That's what I was saying to myself. So I made this food and I ate it. I was in heaven. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed myself. But then now my stomach started hurting. Okay? Y'all know I got a bad stomach and my stomach get real gassy and all messed up. So I go to the doctor. Okay? And I'm still in pain. And they're like, well, we can't find out what's wrong with you. By your symptoms, it doesn't sound good. It sounds like you may be having some type of maybe gallbladder or something. We want you to go down there because they have all the equipment to do what they need to do to find out what is going on with you. So I get down there. They took all these tests, blood tests. So they come back and they said, well, Miss Richardson, we want to tell you that you're pregnant. Pregnant? Okay, it's possible because, I'm sexually active, so it's possible. I said to myself, okay. All right, pregnant. But there's one problem. We can't find the baby. So we're thinking the baby could be in your tubes. So I'm like, what? Because you're in pain. So we need to take you to surgery right away. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. But if the baby's not in the tubes, we'll close back up your, the sac and the uterus. And, you're just going to have to be on bed rest for the rest of the pregnancy if you decide to keep it. What? I was like ecstatic, like, you gotta be kidding me. I came in here with a stomach ache and now y'all trying to take me to surgery and then telling me I gotta be on bed rest. Now, I work a good job, I make good money. I'm like, you're not trying to take me away from my money like that. I'm not doing this. What are y'all talking about? So I had to say a prayer. Well, while I'm praying, right? And, my daughter's father, he's looking at me like, yo, they crazy. I said, yeah, I know. Surgery? We just came in my stomach hurt. Now they want to take me to surgery. So we looking at each other like real crazy. And I get my mom on the phone. My mom, and this is funny because my mother, she was the type of person to always tell me not to get surgeries. Don't be taking this. Don't be doing this. But she doing the opposite. But I guess she was telling me because she already been through some things, so she didn't want me to go through it. And I get it. So I get on the phone and Mommy, I'm pregnant. She was like, you pregnant? Girl, you're 37 years old, 38 years old. And I'm like, God, no. This is crazy. I said, but my stomach hurt. They talked about taking me to surgery. They said the baby could be in my tubes. She said, oh, no. So now she's starting to bug out. Right? And I'm bugging out, too. So then another doctor came in because I was going off. I said, y'all not taking me to surgery. Y'all not opening me up, trying to see where some baby at. You're not doing all that. So another doctor came in and he said, look, I'm going to take you over here. And this was a doctor, not what did they call them? The x-ray technicians? It wasn't an x-ray. It was an actual doctor. He said, come on, I'm going to take you over here and we're going to keep looking to see if we can find this baby. Well, he kept doing the thing, and he was pushing my stomach around, turning me sideways, doing all this stuff. And finally, he found a dot. A little tiny dot. And he said, I think that's the baby right there. I said, so you telling me it's not my tubes? Right? No. Wait, I got to go back, y'all. I got to go back. So, the doctors walked out, and I guess I was so upset that it made my body compress, I guess. I don't know, because I was upset. And I let out this big fart, okay? And I mean, it was big. And it was going. So my daughter's father was like, well, damn. I said, but I feel better. He said, that's all you had to do was fart? I was like, I guess so. So he was like, all right, let's go then. He said, come on, get your stuff. Let's go. And I was like, well, first let's see if this baby is in my tubes. So I told the doctor, I said, listen, I farted, I passed gas, and I feel better. And he's looking at me like he ain't trust me. Like he ain't believe. He just thought I just wanted to get out the hospital. He was like, but listen, if the baby is in your tubes can burst and you can die. So I'm like, ugh. But I don't have any more pain, sir. Right? I farted and the pain is gone. And I forgot I ate some beans and some potato salad and fried chicken. That's enough to put a lot of gas in your belly when you got a bad stomach. So he was like, well, yeah, that's true. He said, but, and that's when he wanted to take me himself to look for this baby. He said, but the blood work says that you're pregnant. I said, but I had gas. And he's like, no, we taking you over. So that's when he took me over. And that's when he was looking. He was pressing on my stomach and moving my belly around and turning me sideways. And then he found that little dot. And he said, I think that's the baby right there. I said, that little dot? He said, yeah. He said, that's the only thing I see in your uterus that ain't supposed to be in there, but you're pregnant. He said, okay, so now we got to watch you. But now just think about it now. Just imagine if I would have went with what the doctor said and said, okay, take me to surgery. And the whole time the baby was in my uterus. The whole time. And, and I sit back and I think about that thing, and I say to myself, like, they would have put anesthesia in my body, cut open my uterus or whatever they do up there to look for this baby, expose my baby to the air, okay, early, if I would have went on what they said and signed them papers. Because that's what they came in the room with. Well, we want you to sign these papers because we want to take you to surgery right away. I'm not signing anything. So now they had to watch me, and watch the baby grow. So I got to see my baby, little Egypt, when she was a little dot in my belly. Okay, this is no lie. Me and her father was talking about this the other day. How she was just a dot because then they brought him in there so he could see it too, and then took the pictures, it was like, there's your baby. Of course, we don't know what it is yet, but there's your baby, that little dot. And he was like, that little dot? And I was like, that's what they say. So, we tripping, we like, we don't know whether we should trust these people or not. But the thing is, I wasn't pregnant long enough for her to attach herself to my uterus. Okay? So that's what they was waiting for. She was floating around. That's why they couldn't find her. So when he moved my belly around, my stomach, my uterus around, it I guess she floated over and he was able to find the dots. Well, or she eventually tried to start embedding herself. Well, I had to go to the doctor once a week for 6 weeks until they actually cleared that she was embedded to my uterus and I was pregnant. Okay? Because my blood work said I was pregnant, but they couldn't find a baby. So that means I was pregnant really, really early. I got, she was really, really young in my belly. Like still an egg type thing, But she grew and grew, and then by the 6th week, I think it was the 6th week, if I'm not mistaken, I got to see the heartbeat, and my levels of pregnancy went up. I forget what they call it, HCTCs or ACTs or something like that, had went up. And my boss, he was killing me. He was like, so are you pregnant or not? I said, well, they said I was pregnant, but my numbers got to go up and the baby has to embed itself to my uterus. So he's looking at me like, huh? So I said, I got to go back to the doctors. He said, all right, well, let me know. So every week I come in, he said, well, are you pregnant yet? Because he didn't understand what they was doing and I really didn't understand it either. So we were all tripping. My boss was tripping. My daughter's father was tripping. I was tripping. My mom was tripping. We was all tripping about what these doctors was doing. But finally, we got to see the baby. Okay, and it was a baby. We start seeing little arms forming and stuff, you know, and we like, oh, okay, yeah, it is a baby. Look at it. There's something growing up in there, you know? And lo and behold, it was little Egypt, you know. But yeah, I would have went to surgery for nothing. Do you get where I'm going with this? You know, I'm not saying that doctors are stupid. I'm not saying that. They've been blessed to get the knowledge that they need to heal us. And I'm thankful for that. But you know, each and every individual perceives something differently. Just like when we read the Bible, we all perceive it differently. You know? So with that being said, same when they, you know, it may be enough, they may get it enough to pass them written tests. When you're physically dealing with a person's body, and you know, we're human, you know, they study the human body, you know, we're one species, you know, that they study. You know, you have some doctors that study animal species, you know, and they study those first, you know, most of the time, you know, because even when I was in school, I studied animal species. And now, when I decided to go to college, I had to start studying the human species. So, you know, this is what the doctors study, and we expect to trust them because they're the ones that's book smart. They're the ones that, you know, learn these things, you know. But then again, too, not everything that's written in a book is always the truth, or people perceive it the same way. You know what I mean? So we got to look at that as well. And, you know, these are human beings. These doctors are human beings just like us. You know, we don't know what they're going through at home, or if they stressed out, if they forgot something. Look at me. Sometimes I'll be forgetting stuff. I've been forgetful. I keep trying to blame it on because I'm old. I say I'm old, but that's a lie, because I've been forgetful since I was young. I say, ooh, I forgot. But now I can blame it on because I'm old. I say it all the time. I can blame it on, you know, I'm old now, so I can blame it on that, you know. But I was forgetful when I was young. And they could be the same way, forgetting some things and diagnosing you with stuff that you can't even see. You know, that's why I be like, prove it to me. Take my blood. Let me see an x-ray. Prove some things to me. You know, that's why y'all got all these machineries and stuff, you know. And don't be prescribing me no narcotics. I don't want that stuff because it makes me high. I can't function. I got kids at home. You know, I have to let them know. You know, because I'm going to tell you the story. that's when I was driving the trash truck. And we driving, you know, stopping to pick up some trash. And this baby is out in the street. Door wide open. Baby in the street. So I told, you know, my helper, I said, listen here, I think I'm going to go take the baby back, you know. And, you know, he's like, forget that baby. And I'm like, nah, you know, I love the kids. I don't want the baby to get hit by nothing. You know, nobody can see him. You know, he out here. I got to go and help this baby, you know, especially, you know, I seen the movies with Pet Cemetery where the boy got hit by the car. And the parents was in the house doing whatever they was doing, wasn't watching the baby, you know. And I've seen a lot of other kids get hurt because people wasn't watching the babies. So, I get to the door, and door wide open, I got the baby, you know, and I'm looking at the mother. And the mother is scrolled out across the couch. Okay, she is, knocked out, you hear me? And I look around the house, you know, and I see the pills on the prescription on the table. And I said, okay, I see what the problem is. They done gave us some stuff. Oh, Lord. So I'm trying to wake her up. Now, just imagine being drugged up, okay, on a couch, and a stranger is waking you up, and they standing there with your child. You know, you're going to be scared. So she was, like, terrified, you know, and I was, like, shaking her. And I said, your baby was in the street. And she said, yeah, oh, man. And she said, he knows how to open the door. And she said, I took the pills the doctor gave me, and they had me messed up. And I just looked at her, you know, and I said, listen, but you got to shake yourself off. You can't take that stuff. You got to watch your baby, you know. So I was saying to myself, I looked at where the lock was, She had two locks. She had the bottom lock where you can twist, and then she had the top lock. Okay. So I think that her theory was, I didn't get to talk to her, but I think her theory was just lock the bottom lock, just in case something happened, the baby can get out to get help. You know what I mean? Because when I looked at the top lock, it was like too far up for the baby to open. So I'm like, well, how did the baby open the door if the top lock is all the way up here? You know what I mean? So I was looking at this type of thing. I'm one to analyze all situations, So I said, okay, I see how the baby got out because he was able to twist the bottom lock to open it, and just open up the door. But he can't reach the top lock. So did she do that just in case something happens to her? He can get out the house to get help, And maybe that's what he was doing. He was, maybe she wanted him to wake her up, and she couldn't, or whatever the case may be. So he figured I'd go outside, get some help. Somebody can come wake up my mommy, because she's just sleeping too long and I need her. I don't know what how she was thinking. But the doctor prescribed her this stuff. And I was saying to myself, and she was like, and the baby's, his father doesn't come home. No, she said my husband doesn't come home until later, but they want me to take this medication, and it makes me so tired, and I just can't function. And I'm looking at her like, and she's like trying to wake herself up, and she's rubbing her head. And I didn't want to walk through the woman's house, like to go try to get her some water, and stuff like that. Plus, I'm on a job, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be working. So I just did what I could, for that moment. But I didn't want the baby out there in the yard walking towards the street, because here it is. I'm in this big old truck. Granted, I saw the baby. But just imagine somebody coming through there and with a big old truck or a car and can't see the baby. You know what I mean? So that was I was scared, so all I could do was just say a prayer as I was walking out the door, and I locked it again, and I told the baby, I said, don't open this door. Stay in here with your mama so you won't get hurt. Now, I don't know if he understood me, but, I drove past it several times after and didn't see him outside, but I told him, stay your butt in this house, and he just looked at me and was like, okay, and I turned the thing and I closed the door, and I was hoping that she got herself together and hopefully that she got off them pills or whatever that they gave her. But yeah, it was doctors that had her like that, and she could have lost her baby. And nowadays people are stealing babies. So there could have been somebody that just walked past and snatched the baby up while she laid out on the couch with these pills that had all high. So this is why we have to be cautious, people. These doctors can't be telling us that we got to take this and take that because we need this and need that because of this and that. We have to find another way because those pills are making our lives miserable. It is. Some of them are there to really help us. But then you got some that's there to hurt us. And there's other ways. Like, y'all hear me? I got this cough this morning. Now I could take my two little sinus pills. I can. Because it works faster. It does work faster. Or I can wait a day out and I can go in the kitchen and get me some cayenne pepper. Okay? Eat some of that. Drink me some peppermint tea. And go take me a eucalyptus bath. By the end of the day, I'm going to feel okay. Okay? It's just a slower process. You know what I mean? So I can't work on that slower process if I have to go to work. It's really hard, so I have to take the man-made stuff, the pills, I have to take it. But if I'm at home every day and I don't have to leave the house, I can go through the process of taking the cayenne pepper and the peppermint tea and the eucalyptus treatments, and it's going to clear me up. And it's a process with that stuff, when I take the cayenne pepper, I cough a lot, in the beginning. And then I can start feeling it clearing up, But there's always a way outside of that medication that they give us, Now, granted, when things get too bad and you've let it get too bad and you know you've been messing up with your body, granted, you might have to take it, but start working on more of a natural way because you don't want all these bad man-made pills in your body. You just don't want it. When I look at that bag of pills that my mother was taking, it broke my heart. And I had to take them. What I did was I took them and poured them all down the toilet, because I didn't know who was going to be cleaning her apartment once, I left. So I didn't want them. Two things I had to get up out of there, and that was her underwear and her medications and like any paperwork that was really important to us. So I took all her papers. I took all her underwears because I don't want nobody going through my mother's underwears and bras and stuff. So I took all of that out and I took her medications, and I dumped the medications down the toilet because I didn't want people, because I didn't know what type of medications they were, I know she had heart issues. I didn't know if there was any narcotics there. I didn't know I know she had the cancer, so they was giving her, what's that stuff? Not the radiation, the chemo pills, I think she had. So she had so many stuff, so much stuff, so many issues. She did have some medication to try to relax her, to keep her from smoking. She had the Chantix. She had a bunch of stuff, So I just didn't want people going through her medication and trying to sell it or use it or whatever the case may be because it can hurt them, So I think about others as well, even though my mother, went through what she went through. So I dumped all her medicine down the toilet and flushed it, so nobody else would get it. And then I left and let them do what they do, However, I say to myself, and I say to myself every day, that those pills is probably what killed my mother, all them pills, And she used to always say to me, I'll call on the phone, and she said, well, Jackie, I can't cook because, what you want? What's that?
Read it. Not out loud.
I can't read it. I can't see. I'm blind as a bat. The day. Ooh, that's for you? For me? Oh. It's my sign? What are you reading? Just wait, Eva. Let me finish my podcast.
You can punch my dad. He's taller than you.
I'm not punching that man. She crazy.
I punch you.
No, don't. You better get away from me. I'm gonna punch you back.
Rock you.
She gotta stop looking at TikTok and all them other things because she's learning some craziness on there. But anyway, I just didn't want, like I said, people to get a hold of her medication, and I was trying to get my mom down to Maryland so I can take care of her the right way and give her the treatments that she needed, the herbs and stuff that she needed. I wanted to give her that, but she wasn't into that thing, and something that I've, learned in my life, the herbs and stuff. Shout out to the Chinese. They the ones who got me on this thing, where I'm taking the herbs and I can feel it. I can see it. I know it's helping my body, So, some people, they dig a little deeper than others, and I get it. I was one that said, hey, I'm gonna do some research on this thing. I got to, whatever illness I'm going through, I have to get myself together, Back when I was young, I had ordered a book, Natural Healings, I was young too. I was like 20 in my 20s, because I was sick real young. So I was in my 20s. I still got that book too. Matter of fact, I was looking at it the other day. It's called, is it up here? Is it? Yeah, Curing Illnesses, backed by over 500 scientific studies. And it's all with, and this book is old, y'all. I had this book for a long, long time. Okay? But it teaches you, I don't know if this book is still out. They probably have one that's more updated to today, but it teaches me about different things that I can use to help myself without taking medications that's going to make me even worse, and I had ulcers. So, I had to learn from this stuff. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this too real quick before this podcast ends. Now, I used to take ulcer medication. I forgot what's the one I used to take. Not ulcer medication. I have gastro something or another. When you get the burning in your chest, you take the gas medicine. What was the one that I was taking? I forgot the name of it, y'all. But I want you to read those gas medicines, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because during the time that I caught pneumonia, right? The last time after I gave birth to Egypt, I had took those medicines because I had the gas issue going on, okay? And one of the side effects was you can possibly catch pneumonia. I didn't learn that until later. Okay? So y'all beware of a lot of these medications, especially the over-the-counter medications that y'all take as well. Y'all beware of those things because some of the side effects is unreal. And if you're already sick and you're taking this medication to help one illness, when you have one illness, but you take medication to help another illness that you have, it can react differently in your body. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. It can react different. Just like if you take, it's an antibiotic that you can't take with aspirin. I think it's aspirin. Or you can't eat a certain type of food, okay, before you take this medication. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I had forgot about it. My mom, she was big on eating before she took her medication. And that's one thing I was going to tell y'all. Make sure you always eat before you take medication. Try to eat something if it's nothing but crackers. Even though like some of the antibiotics we can take on an empty stomach. But it will eat the lining of your belly. Okay? And you don't want that to happen to you. And that was one of the reasons why I was paying my mother's bills, is because the money that she did have coming in, she was on disability. She needed to take that money to be able to order food out because she couldn't cook because she was so sick. So most of her money went towards food, and I took care of the bills. However, she had to eat, that's another thing I wanted to, I just wanted to throw that out there, y'all. Make sure y'all eat and put something on your belly so that medicine has something to eat up or eat around, because you don't want it to eat the pit of your belly, When my mother went to the hospital right before she died, that's what they told me. She kept saying her stomach was hurting. And that was from them pills eating up her belly. And when I looked at all the pills, I'm like, no wonder your stomach was hurting. It's just, our bodies can't take all that stuff. So try to, when you go to the doctor, speak up for yourself. You have to, I always speak up for myself. I tell doctors in a minute. I'll go off them. If they want to start acting like they better than me, or you know me, this is why I want them to send for my records, even though they finally got one of my records from Maryland. This is my body though, and everybody's body is different. You're not going to tell me what's going to work for my body. I know what works for my body. So, yeah. Y'all be careful out there, especially during this time with all this COVID, flu, and all this stuff going on, because they may give you one medication to help this one, and it may react with the other one differently. Okay? It may actually help the other one grow. So y'all beware of that type of thing. Y'all stay prayed up. Do it God's way. The herbs, spices, whatever your issue is, do it God's way. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Ms. JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all Monday.